Hello and welcome to Arise Sister. My name is Apise and I'm so glad you're joining us today. I'm so glad you're watching this right now because this is for you. At Arise Sister, we are passionate about you living your best life, about you living your life to the fullest and accomplishing the purposes for which you have been put here on earth right now. Today, we're going to be talking about dealing with anxiety and fear. I know these are really big issues that many people face nowadays, especially in times like this where the world is facing this huge pandemic and tomorrow seems unsure. Fear and anxiety are really big issues that a lot of people are dealing with. And that's why I want us to talk about that today. So I want you to stick around. We're going to be talking about that today. So fear and anxiety. I know this is something that's really real because I have had the moments where I've had to deal with this myself. So I know many people out there are facing this very problem. But fear is going to keep you grounded. Fear is going to prevent you from taking steps forward that you should be taking. Fear is going to prevent you from having so much that you should have. And so that's something that you need to work on. Fear is something that you need to work at getting rid of, because if you don't get rid of fear, you're just going to miss out on so much in your life. And so how do we deal with fear? How do we deal with anxiety? Especially right now, we are looking at the economy just crashing down on us. The entire global economy is crashing, and we could be thinking about our future and thinking about what am I going to become? What is going to become of me? What is going to become of my family? What is going to become of my business, my career, the plans I had? What is going to become of all of this? And then we freak out and fear takes control. So how do we deal with this fear? And so I want us to really look into this issue and share about some ways through which we can overcome fear. And so leave us comments in the comment section below of the things you do when you're faced with fear, the things you do to overcome it. First thing I want us to know is that you need to understand that fear only brings more fear. Fear only fuels more fear. When you allow fear to overcome you, when you allow fear to take over you and control you, it's only going to make you more afraid. There's no way out of it. So instead of fueling your fear with more fear, why don't you choose to hope? Why don't you choose to have faith instead? Fear is the devil's tool, the number one tool that he uses to keep us grounded, that he uses to prevent us from achieving purpose, that he uses to prevent us from going forward, from doing the things that God would have us do, from becoming what God will have us become. Fear is the number one tool of the enemy to keep us in the same spot, at the same position, always being afraid to take that step forward. The devil will use that against you. So you need to understand this. And once you are very aware of it, and you will be able to work intentionally towards overcoming it. So that's the first thing you need to do. You need to understand that fear only brings more fear. And secondly, I want you to understand this. You need to take it one day at a time. You need to take baby steps. When you start thinking about your future, when you start thinking about the future and anxiety starts kicking in, and today, what am I going to accomplish? Work at accomplishing the things you have per day. Don't think too much about tomorrow. Don't think too much about the next week or the week after that or next month. Once you start thinking too much about that, then that's when you become even more anxious. I'm not saying you shouldn't plan. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a vision for your life. You should. You definitely should. But work one day at a time towards those visions. Work and be concerned more about what is on your plate today. And when you do that, then you are going to be able to control anxiety and control fear that kicks in sometimes. Also, you need to understand that as long as you breathe, there's always a reason to hope. As long as you are alive, as long as you are breathing, there's always a reason to hope, because tomorrow can always be better than today. But you need to choose to make this decision. You need to choose to hope that your tomorrow will be better. I'm not saying that positive thinking is automatically going to change everything. Of course not. You have to work at it. There's going to be days that you wouldn't know how you will get through them, because they'll be really bad. But when you have hope, you can overcome it. And when you trust that God has got you, sister, God has got you, God is mindful of you, and when you put your hope and your trust in Him, tomorrow is always going to be better. It couldn't be bad forever. There is light at the end of the tunnel. So why don't you keep your hope alive instead of being so afraid, and instead of being so anxious about tomorrow? Why don't you choose to be hopeful for better days? Because think about it this way: thinking that tomorrow is going to be bad, and thinking and being anxious and worrying so much about your future, what is that going to do for you? What is it going to do for you? It's only going to make you more afraid. So instead of thinking that way, why don't you choose to think in the right direction? Why don't you choose to have hope instead? Because I can assure you that it is going to get better. Even though it doesn't look that way right now, whatever it is you're going through, even though it doesn't look that way right now, it is going to get better. And when you look back, you will be surprised at what you've been through. I hope these tips and these points I just gave you are going to help you deal with fear and anxiety. It's not always going to be better. You're not always going to be perfect at this. There are days when you just wouldn't be able to help yourself. There are days when you're going to be at your lowest, but then you will rise again. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so glad that you were able to join us today at Arise Sister. We were happy to have you on here with us today, and we hope that we've been able to encourage you today. If you're going through a situation and you're anxious and you're afraid, you're not sure about what the next day is going to be like, or what next week or next month is going to look like, I hope that today we've been able to give you some hope, even if a little bit of hope, that tomorrow is going to be better than today. So leave a comment in the comment section below. Share your stories with us, share your testimonies with us. We'd love to pray with you and encourage you in every way that we possibly can. So stay in contact with us. You can get in contact with us on our social media pages, on Facebook at Arise Sister, on Instagram at Arise Sister. You can send us an email at arisesisterministries@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to pray with you and partner with you in prayer and encourage you. We would love to encourage you as you encourage us, because we encourage each other. That's what this is about, sister. It's about helping each other in this journey. So I'm so glad you watched us today, and may God bless you. So stick around. So right, sister, my name is Apise, and I'm so glad you're joining us today. I'm so glad you're watching us today. We are happy to have you on Arise Sister with us today.